something. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about these Columbia college campus.
There were other campuses, but I was telling you today that Northwestern, they cleared their issue up.
Well, let's say what they're doing. They're protesting.
God, they're protesting issues.
Their schools are
the campus.
The campuses that these different colleges on have money ties to Israel.
Yeah.
And these students are upset because they're saying you're helping to fund this war, which is Israel pretty much dropping bombs on Gaza, saying they're looking for Hamas. But you don't, again, I still say, you know where I stand. You don't need to drop a bomb and destroy a whole block to look for one guy in a building.
It's funny because I'm not funny, but it's sad because it's both sides. Because you got the other side saying, okay, who dropped bombs first? Who messed?
Well, we don't know.
Started it?
See, they keep saying that, but I go back.
Hamas. That's all people say.
But that's not true. See? Because remember, this is from age of time.
I know.
Yes. This has been, so now we got to see, okay, how far back do we want to go with this?
Historically.
Because people will say, well, it started because Israel has, they are pretty much holding apartheid in Gaza by making, having their thumb on the people over in Gaza. And that's why Hamas was mad and went over and did what they did. It starts before that.
Yeah.
Why did Israel put their thumb on them and say, I don't trust you and we don't like you? You got to go way back to when all this stuff started. And it's way before October, whatever, 7th or whatever that was, and way before the occupation of Israel in Gaza. It goes back way before that. Okay. But anyway, these kids, they don't care about all that. They care about the fact that what's going on now. And we don't like our schools, and this is not just Columbia, it's everywhere. We don't want our schools to invest in Israel, who we feel are not doing this war the correct way.
They want a peace treaty.
Here's my issue that I have with these kids. I think a lot of times you can get so caught up in what you're protesting that nobody cares because the way you're protesting. Remember we talked about that. Blocking the highway so people can't go to work. Yeah. Ambulances
making other people angry and they're not even with you anymore. They're like, oh, I wish they stopped. But do you not know what the reason why they're doing it? I don't care. They're in my way. I'm trying to go to work.
You're blocking the airport. Now I miss my plane. I can't get home. I got business I got to do. Nobody cares about what you're protesting when you are making it inconvenient for me.
Right.
That's the bottom line. And then also, these schools get millions and millions of dollars from Jewish people who are donors. Do you think they're going to listen to you? When the only reason why they're in existence is because of billionaires who are giving them money to build a building.
Or the fact that you have a school to go to that is built on a lot of Jews.
So Columbia University said, no, we're not. We're not going to pull out of any investments we have with Israel. Okay. And we know why. Like I said, it's because there's billionaires who donate to Columbia University who are Jewish. And who say, if you pull out of investment, I'm not giving you any more money.
But you made it known that, like, for example, the property, the real estate, the location of what's the country, where Hamas is very Gaza is money. It's like a gold mine.
That's what Trump's son-in-law said.
Trump's son-in-law.
That land is a gold mine.
Made that comment.
So that is why Benjamin Netanyahu, whatever his name is, he ain't trying to have them occupied.
He got to blow everybody out.
He's trying to get rid of them.
That's the property he wants.
He wants that property.
And it's unfortunate that people have to be hurt.
And Trump's son-in-law pretty much said that. Because that's all they think about is money.
But you know what? Think about this. Our history of our country.
Same thing.
Wiping a lot of Native Americans and who all were here first.
Off the land.
And stole the land.
Yeah, for the land.
People to this day think historically This land is stolen.
Right.
And the sad thing about it, and they had mentioned this on The View, that Comb Over is trying to go back to what we were getting away from.
Right. He wants to make America great again.
Where Europe and kings and queens and one person ruling. We didn't want that. And that's why the people came to this country for the freedom.
But
and checks and balances in our government.
But I think it's going to go back to it because I think human nature, we saw it in the Bible.
Yeah.
They wanted a king.
Yeah.
And God was like, you don't have to have a king. Nope. We want a king.
And they were looking at other
everybody
nations.
else has a king. We want a king.
But that ushers in some people's
666.
That ushers in Antichrist.
It does. Because you're going to have somebody rule over you. Yes. And they're going to say, see, it's always good.
Baby steps to that.
It's always good when you're the one that's in power.
Yes.
So that's all I say to Christians and people who keep saying that's mega and all that. Go ahead. You ushering in 666.
No problem. Just be ready when Jesus comes.
Yeah. So back to these Columbia kids. Okay. They moved into an administration building and took it over.
Yes, that's where I lost respect for them.
They have kicked in the windows just like their predecessors on January 6th.
Yes.
The people who kicked in the doors of the Capitol. That's why I better not hear one mega person say anything about those kids kicking in windows and doors and taking over a building. Because that's what you did.
But remember, Comb Over is saying once he's in office, he's letting them go because he felt like
then they're heroes. They're heroes. So you know what then? Comb Over should be for these kids kicking in the administration door.
If he's protecting what happened on January 6th.
They're heroes.
They're fighting for democracy. They want to be heard. So tear a building down and shoot down a window.
That's the way to do it, right? Comb Over?
They'll listen to you then. Because if you just quietly build your tents on the front yard, nobody's gonna listen.
No,
you gotta start breaking doors.
You gotta kick the doors in and break windows and take over the building.
Yes.
Isn't that right, mega people? What a wonderful example you did for these kids. Because guess what? They probably was thinking that.
Yeah.
Hey, they kicked in the doors and the windows. These are 18-year-old, 19-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did. So guess what?
Ding,
That's
ding,
a good idea.
Ding, ding, ding.
We're going to do the same thing.
The Capitol.
The Capitol.
Ding, 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 ding. Let's do the same thing. They'll listen to us now.
We'll really get their attention now, won't we?
Sad.
You perfect example.
Sad display.
Just like when he becomes, or if he becomes president, he'll be a perfect example of grab him by the you know what. Just fake your business amounts and what your houses are. Oh, please believe. See, this is the part of me that don't like being saved because the Holy Spirit will get me.
Okay.
If I wasn't saved and he became president, I would, taxes, all of that. I'm going to hustle and bustle. My house is now worth $5. I live in a $5 house.
You know when they do those what's those awards that the president gives with the necklaces on the medals on there?
Thank you.
He's going to do that to the people from January 6th.
And I'm going to go around.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Presidential Medal of Honor.
Yes.
When you kicked that door in, you did it faster than anybody else.
Because you did it for me.
Yeah. He may very well be your next president of the United States. Yes. And believe me, if I wasn't saved, this is to all you people who you believe you don't have to live by a higher code with Jesus. Mm-hmm. If I was y'all, I'd do whatever the heck I want to. But once he becomes president, answer to nobody.
But you know what? They were saying in a recent interview, he was saying, using the word anti-white.
Yeah.
And they were saying, if that's not a slap in the face for anybody that's not white.
Thank you.
These kids probably won't get a medal.
No.
Because they're not white.
But what they are getting is expelled. That's what the University of Columbia said. And I don't blame them. And another thing, I'm hearing that some of these HBCU campuses, let me tell you something, HBCU
Are they
kids,
doing the same thing?
They are starting to do all of this.
Oh. Y'all already slide.
You already are on the border of being closed.
Thank you.
No one give you any money.
Why would
if I was a parent and I sent my kid to Howard University,
oh my goodness,
and I turned on the television and I saw him with a sign that said "Free Pakistan," I would get on a plane if I don't live in D.C. I will go out there, find him in a crowd of 1,000 people. I will grab him by his neck.
Thank you.
I will pull him in, and I will tell him, "You dumb Negro."
Yes.
There are a million things in this country that you and every last one of y'all on this HBCU campuses could be sitting in on. Starting with black men being shot down in the street.
Thank you.
Starting with gang warfare in your inner cities.
Yes.
Starting with black people having to lie about their income or who they are on a mortgage thing so they can get a house.
Or get their white friend to go and get the loan for them.
I will slap the hell out of you if you think I'm wasting my money to send you to the HBCU for you to get expelled for a sign that says "Free Pakistan." And Kenya's flooded. How about Free Africa? God darn it, Haiti. I'll even take it if you get expelled for Haiti, for God's sake.
You got the wrong country on your signs. It should be countries with people of color.
And I'm not saying you shouldn't care. People. You should care about what's going on.
But your priorities
I care about
not
it.
to.
But you're not getting expelled.
Yes.
Because you got a sign up that says "Free Pakistan."
So pray tell.
And you a black man in this country or black girl.
Thank you.
Barely hanging on by a thread because HBCU is going to be closed.
Yes.
And you want to set a tent outside saying "Free Pakistan."
What HBCUs are doing this?
All of them. Howard, Spelman, all of them.
Y'all got bigger causes to fight for. Not to say what's going on in the Middle East is not important.
I don't mind you picketing. You can picket, you can have a sign up, but as soon as that president of Howard University says, "Get off my lawn and I'm going to expel anybody," you better be the first Negro back in the dorm room with a book. Now, they probably won't mess with you if you're being peaceful.
Yes.
But you're not kicking in any doors at Howard University.
Like they're doing at this university. They are taking...
Now, that's to every black kid out there that's going to college.
It makes sense. I get the fight for the cause, and I get the young people today. They want to fight for whatever cause.
And I agree with them. As long as you don't mess with people.
Yeah.
Don't bother the Jewish students that go there.
Thank you.
Don't kick in doors and windows.
Yes. Y'all making kids fearful to even be there because of their ethnicity.
Now, there's a lot of Jewish kids that are with them protesting.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that there's people that come from the outside and mess it up.
Like they did Black Lives Matter.
Yes, they go from the outside and these are people that are criminals anyway. Yeah. And they want to get in the mix and mess up things. But I blame you. I told you that. I blame the protesters. If you got some people that are hoodlums that are not part of what you think, if you are in a protest, hundreds of y'all out there, thousands, and you see Jewish kids being picked on, you need to go at those people doing it and say, "You are not part of us."
Remember that black girl?
And get out of here.
It was a Black Lives Matter rally, and the white guy, they was messing with him.
Thank you.
And I think he had did something, but she protected him.
Yes.
And put her body over him and said, "You guys,
that's not why we're here.
We're not here for that reason."
And that's what I'm saying. I blame protesters. Yeah. If you got some people in your mix who are criminals, I blame you. Because you should have gotten rid of them, or you should tell the cops to come get them.
Everybody should keep their eyes wide open when they're in these rallies.
Thank you.
Just to make sure everybody's on one accord.
Thank you.
Because you do have bad apples that slip in.
You got bad apples.
And it makes all of you guys look bad. It's like when law enforcers, officers get upset when there's a bad cop.
There's a bad cop.
Because I said, we got good ones too. You're making us look bad, man. Get it together.
So that's where I am with this.
Okay.
Nobody cares. Now, you've gotten to the point now where nobody cares what you we don't even know what you protested
once they stormed
anymore.
inside that office,
thank you.
They lost respect for some people who had your back.
You lost
because it's a very good cause. I get it, and you're using your freedom of speech,
and they don't know why to get them out of there. Do you send in the smoke bombs?
Smoke bombs.
These are kids.
You don't want to harm them because they're young.
So I agree with the principal. Y'all all expelled. You're no longer students. Anybody in that building is no longer a student. Check in this week. If you check in this week in the president's office,
you're serious about your education.
That means that you are not in that building. And any student that does not check in physically at a checkpoint this week, we are going to assume you're either dead or you're in that building. Either way, you're getting expelled.
I remember an episode, and they're still showing these episodes of Different World because they're doing their tour. You mentioned HBCU. They're doing their tour, and one of the episodes was they have the school had a radio station, and it was a song that they played their music. They have the freedom to talk and play their music on campus, but it was one artist that he just took the tape because it was a known artist and played them, and it was vulgar music, very vulgar, and the people were getting upset that their freedom of speech was being stepped on. Why can't we play this? We can't play this, blah, blah, blah. So they boycotted, and they were in the dean's office where they wanted to protest. And they were told outside, you guys got to come out or you're going to be expelled, blah, blah, blah. She had to go in and talk to them and say, have you heard this CD all the way through? Right. He actually said, I heard it. He said, you're right. It is vulgar. I am so sorry. But they felt, let's go in the office like these people are doing. It made it worse.
Thank you.
It made it worse.
Thank you.
So you can protest calmly, freely, politely, and
you don't have to kick in windows and doors.
You can get your point across. That's why I love what Evanston Northwestern did, and they shut theirs down.
They was getting ready to do this thing.
Yeah, but people need to probably use them as a model, and maybe trying to get the protesters to get involved in something where things can't possibly be done.
And the school is not going to make the decision on whether to give money to Israel.
No.
You guys need to be talking to the billionaires.
Yes.
You need to be setting up meetings with these Jewish billionaires.
Yes.
And you need to sit down calmly in their boardroom or whatever and say, it's not that we're against Israel. This makes Israel look bad in the world. And you are Jewish. You would want Israel to look good. If you have a normal conversation, they may listen to you.
And that's what they did in Northwestern.
But you can't do this because they're not going to listen to you.
Yeah. They started a program. They started a group that allows the conversation to go forth.
And and again, I've already said it. I'm not going to repeat it. Another level for HBCUs.
I know.
You're on a whole nother level.
Be careful, HBCUs, because you're on a thin thread.
You are already getting ready to get closed down.
A lot of you probably are near that point. Be careful.
You're talking about free Pakistan or whatever, gossip.
You need to free some people from prison in your inner city.
And you got guys going back and forth in and out of prison. Prison is a modern day plantation. And you holding up a sign saying free Pakistan or whatever, Palestinians or whatever.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with you doing that. But I don't want you kicking in doors and don't be a menace over something like that. When you got 20 line items of things that's happening to black people in this country.
Prioritize. Okay.
Justice Frost says if they're not going to go